there's a couple ways I wanted to go.
know.
I wanted to talk about orgasmic meditation because I got into that for a while. I wanted to talk about some other things, but we're gonna have to do it at a different time because.
Do you know how to do OM?
I was in there.
You got in and
I was in, yeah. I was in for like 6 months. Oh, dude, I got bit by a fucking Bichon up in Topanga Canyon touching some lady. Yeah. And it was all sanctioned. This was sanctioned, by the commission or whatever. This was legal.
have you talked about this yet?
Huh? I don't know if we've talked about it.
People keep asking you to elaborate. I think it might be more interesting than some of our questions. If you got
Please
time.
elaborate, Theo. My ex-boyfriend was trained to do OM.
Really?
Yeah, and he did it to some strange woman. And
Okay,
I
I'll tell
thought
you
it
what
was
happened.
so hot. I know it's not hot. It's supposed to be very like mechanical.
So Pee-wee's Big Adventure, right? You remember that?
Yeah.
The film, right? So they have this lovely lady who was an actress in it named E.G. Daly, and she played Pee-wee's girlfriend. Can you bring her up? Do you mind? She played Pee-wee's girlfriend in the original movie, and she also was the voice of Tommy Pickles.
Oh my god!
Can we get it on here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
There we go. So E.G. came on my podcast, Allegedly, which was my original podcast with Matt Weiss. And she was awesome. She was extremely charming. And we kind of really related. She's super, super cool. And we related, and she invited me to this thing called Orgasmic Meditation. The second she spoke about it, I felt just into it. Can you just
Wow.
click on just any of them? Maybe Tommy Pickles one. So the second she, I felt into it. So next thing you know, she invites me to this place downtown, and we're in this. It's like a seminar. They got coffee and a little bit of some pineapple cuts, some cuts of pineapple and cuts of different fruits. At the front, people's milling around and doing that. Next thing you know, they got a lady up, and they close the doors. About 250 people in there. They have a lady at the front. They got her spread eagle. You know what I'm saying? Which I think should be our national bird. You know what I'm saying, boy? I salute that, dude. I doubt any brothers would kneel if they fucking let that thing fly across the stadium. I know that.
I hope you write that down. That's really funny.
Well, I mean, that's just what's going on, you
Yeah.
know? So anyhow, next thing you know, they're teaching you how to diddle the lady at the front of the room, right?
Yes.
And there's a doctor up there.
Yeah.
So fast forward 5 hours and a lunch break. They've got us partnered off into different twosomes, and you're just diddling whoever you're set up with. And you're full. I mean, you have gloves on. There's doctors walking around like it's like Lost. It's like one of the, what should have been maybe the last episode of Lost that they never put together because those dudes are fucking losers who couldn't, who just wrote their way into selling advertising. But anyhow, like they got and you're touching a lady, and people are spraying out across the room. Like you can tell who's doing good and who's doing bad.
Wait a second. Can we talk about like
It's
what
all
this
in a room.
is? But like why?
Okay,
why
here's
do the
why.
women enjoy it? Why do the men enjoy it?
Great.
What is the relationship?
So here's the thing. They teach you how to pleasure a woman with your hand, right? The woman gets pleasured, and this goes back to what you were talking about earlier, feels like they don't have to give any reciprocation because there's no reciprocation for the man. But here's what the man gets. So it's a 15-minute process, and it's a safe process where a woman knows she can feel sexual pleasure from an actual man, and that they don't have to give anything in return. So it's a complete safe space to feel good. And also there are terms that the woman can give to her male instructor that lets the man know how they can better please the woman, right? And there's specific terms that don't make the man feel bad if he's not doing it right, right? So it's very calculated. And as a man, here's what you get. You actually get to make a woman feel good with a woman's permission and with a woman's direction in a comfortable way where you're not just guessing and assuming and going off of things you heard in grade school or things that some fucking, idiot or some, older brother's friend who now works at a fucking Chevron or something for 40 years told you. And so you actually get to make a woman feel good. And so you leave out of there, bro. When you leave out of there, dude, you feel like, damn, just, John Wayne Gacy or whatever. Who's the, John Wayne? Sorry. Yeah, Gacy's a serial killer. But you feel like, like you have like, in your fingertips, you have the magic.
Yeah.
Because you got a woman off, you didn't get anything, you didn't bust, so you got all this chi built up. So you're rolling around town just with a magic touch, you got that King Midas, you got that clitoral King Midas you're running around. And
what are the words? Can you reveal what are some of the things that women can say to direct you in different ways?
Yeah, higher, lower, more pressure, less pressure. Can you go a little faster, please? Can you go a little slower,
Okay.
please? To the right, to the left. Now slide. Now slide. No. And that was a joke I did use one time in the thing, and it got a couple people to laugh. And one lady even farted a couple people over when I did use that joke. But so anyway, so next thing you know, I'm on the floor. On the floor of a huge warehouse in downtown Los Angeles. There's about 80 people that are coupled off into groups of 40. Some people didn't even get partners. They got fucking sent off the island, bro. You know what I'm saying? It was like, whoa, sorry. Dude, but next thing you know, you get to the end and you're like, wow, this lady came or didn't come but still felt good.
What do you do after she comes? Like, do you shake hands? Do you look at each other?
No, then you have to like slow down. It's like kind of like a downward stroke that you would use on the woman. It was like a downward pressure. And then in the end, you use like this kind of closing pressure. You like put both your hands on her vagina with like this, and you like kind of press on her for like 2 or 3 seconds. There's this whole template of how it all goes down. And I remember one guy they had in a wheelchair. He got partnered up with a lady. So this dude, I think, was like, his leg, you know, and his legs, he didn't have any feeling in his legs. He got hit by a fucking car, bus or something, or thrown off a horse or something. But we had to pick him up out of a wheelchair. And
he got thrown off a horse and then got hit by a bus.
Oh, it could have been, dude.
Could have been a double
Ooh,
whammy.
that fucking HB combo, bro. You got it.
Horse bus.
Nothing's working after that. Bro, it's nothing after that. But the wild part was I remember lifting him up out of the wheelchair and laying him next to his partner so he could still use his arms. So he got it, you know, he did his job. And I remember when we put him back in the wheelchair, he felt lighter.
Oh.
So you could feel like he just felt.
He got some mojo back.
Yeah.
Because it's got to be taken from you when you're in a wheelchair and feel maybe that was like his way of.
Yeah. I mean, I think if he'd have done 4 more ladies, he'd have fucking waltzed out of that bitch, you know? But it's just crazy the empowerment that you get by making somebody else feel good. And so then next thing you know, you're in the group. You meet up once or twice a week. There's like these crazy meetups, and you're diddling whoever shows up. You're partnering up. There's almost this square dance thing in the beginning where it's like, is it okay if we ohm? They call it oming orgasmic meditation. Is it okay if we ohm together? And next thing you're like, yes. So you partner up, and you know, you set each other off, and you're diddling 50, 60, 70-year-old women. You know,
I mean, you literally these are women that you're not like attracted to.
Oh no, I was best looking man and woman in the whole fucking place. A lot of times. But then they have an app you're on, and now you're fucking driving around town. You have a business meeting, and a half hour later you're in some apartment. I was in a nice house in the hills a couple times.
And then what is the process before and after when you're meeting with these women? What's the conversation leading before and after?
So everybody's on a tight time scale. You know, it's like people are living their regular lives, but they want to have this moment. It's a meditation. It really is.
I literally definitely need to do this because I need to have orgasms that are brought on by someone else, but I don't want all the follow-up of like, will he call me, or like, do I like him, or do I have to blow him?
Escort, then it sounds like you might need an escort.
No, why not this? What's the difference?
So you could do this. So this is what happens. I would show up. We'd have texted in advance, communicated in advance. Okay, I'll be there at 12:15. You know, I'm 5 minutes late. No worries. So we get there, and the person, the woman, has a nest set up, and a nest is just a way you set up pillows and a towel so that they can lay down, so the woman can lay down. The man, you roll in. You got your bat. You got your little gloves. You got your, you know, and straight up, dude. I've always wanted to be at my heart. I believe a cafeteria worker, right? Deep inside of me, there's a fucking beautiful big lady, fucking scooping cobbler, you know, into the plate of a young boy who's hurting in a lot of different ways, but for a moment feels some warmth when he sees this woman, you know? And there's also like unnecessary hairnets everywhere, you know? And I fucking love that. And so anyway, you know, you show up, you have your gloves, you have your little thing of lube, and, you know, you show up, and the woman takes her pants off, and you kind of sit cross-legged. So the lady lays down, you put a leg over her body, so you're facing just her vagina. You're not even looking at her up
like
front.
she doesn't have to, you don't make eye contact.
There's none of that shit, you know. This ain't a family, you know.
I love the leg over because it like holds you down. It's a little bit of...
It's secure. It's like whenever you get onto the Batman ride at fucking Six Flags, and you're like, and you're like...
And it's just a simple bar, but you're like, no, I feel I'm not going to fall out.
Yeah, I'm not going to fall out. Did I make sure I put my camera in the cubby hole before I got on? Yes, I did. Everything's secure, right? So then, you know, you have the woman's underpants off, you have the vagina, you're kind of looking down at it, and then you just have this kind of stroke that you start to do, you know?
Right, they teach you this method.
Yeah, and they teach you this method, and the woman knows what's going on, and you've learned the method in the classroom, so now it's a real practical thing. And man, it seems to be a thing that functions constantly and that people do. Nobody's raping each other. There's not a lot of that. It's like a meditation that is apparently is respected by a lot of people. And they they used to charge like to be in like the group. There was like a fee to learn it. Now I don't even think they charge.
Wow.
I think it's just a thing that's going on. Now what happened to me was I got fucking attacked by a Bichon while I was touching this lady up in Topanga Canyon. So that's where I was thinking about getting a lawyer and stuff. And finally I'm like, man, fuck it, man.
You got like bit. You literally.
Oh yeah, this thing fucking bit me, dog. And I respect it, and I told her to lock the dog up. That was the thing. And I've been over there a couple times. And it's hard to also fend a dog off while you're trying to touch a woman's crotch. You know what I'm saying?
God.
But look, I've had experience with that going full circle, trying to fuck while people are throwing rocks at you.
Sure.
So it all
this
kind
is
of
all coming back.
It's all a little bit
around.
full circle.
Do you still do this?
I don't do it. I would get back into it.
What made you get away from it? The Bichon attack?
Yeah. Definitely the attack. And I've shared a room with a Bichon. I shared a room with a chow, too, when I was in college. Not an Asian person, an actual fucking animal. And so I've been around, some dogs. I've been attacked by dogs. I got attacked by dogs and cats one time on my birthday.
Well,
I've had different experiences with animals.
You've seen a lot of vaginas through doing this. Like, how many girls do you think you've owned? Women.
Maybe 30.
Okay. What have you learned about vaginas? Like, because that's a different thing than a hookup. Because in a hookup, a lot of times you don't get to like really look and see like what the mechanics are. Have you learned about vaginas in a way that maybe I don't even understand? Because I only know mine.
Yeah.
Like, what are you seeing out there?
I've learned.
What do you like? What do you don't like? What are some recommendations if you were about to go service a woman, what would you want her to do down there?
Check it out. Make sure that thing's running top oil. Nothing wild down there. I don't want some, you should have got it serviced a couple times. You've been skipping out because just make sure that your vagina is like kind of, you want to have a clean vagina.
Clean.
Yeah. Because there's a lot, I would say 1 out of 7 vaginas is not clean.
How could they not clean up if they know you're coming over?
Clean your also I used to know a girl, and she would put a finger in her vagina and then taste it herself to make sure that it tasted okay.
Yeah
Which seems very wild to me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I've slipped over to the buffet and had something off of it before I paid for it.
Sure.
But I've never done anything like that.
Yeah, I've done that before because
but
you do
I respected it.
Yeah.
I respected it. It's like, know what's going on. It's the same thing like as a guy, like you'll do this and on with your cock and rub your hands.
I'll probably lick myself off your face, so I'm not opposed to like that, like tasting myself. I think it's actually kind of hot. So like, you might as well be like, okay, what am I having a good day?
Right. Like,
and
what's going on?
Yeah.
Do I need to fucking toss a mint in there?
Yes. Sometimes you just need to like do something else.
A vagint.
Yeah. I can't believe those don't exist.
Vagents.
Tighten
up, ladies. Vagents. You and I should definitely sell those.
I put a gummy worm up my vagina once because my
Oh, was that game? There used to be a game people were doing online.
Oh, really?
That hiding gummy worms in their vagina.
No way.
Yeah, it was like, somebody reenacted like Lord of the Flies where they had like a cave and it looked like the gummy worms were coming out.
That's funny. No, I did this because I was picking up my ex-boyfriend boyfriend at the time at the airport.
Oh, and you wanted to tell him and surprise him.
His favorite food was these like gummy worms, and I would always buy them for him. And I was picking him up at the airport, and I knew that he would finger me immediately when we got in the car because it's my favorite thing. And driving while you're being fingered is like so exciting. So I put one in right before I picked him up. So he gets in the car and he's fingering me, and he's like, "What the fuck is?" And he pulls out a gummy worm, and it was just like a funny joke.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
No, definitely, and that. I
think that's a vagina.
And we just sold 1,000 magic kits. A vagina, no, it seems good. But here's what I'm saying is that I forgot what we're talking about.
You need to get back into it.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds like.
You just got it. Yeah. It just the scent. That was the biggest thing. And outside of that, that was it. I mean, there's this, I noticed this as well. Like, it gave me a different respect for women. Because if you're like pleasuring a woman who's 65 years old, it's like you start to realize, that like, older women do, they are still women. They do need pleasure, and you should treat them like a woman. Like, that's what it made me realize a little bit more like, this is a woman. This is a different thing than me.
I may not want to fuck her, but she's still a woman that has sexual desires and deserves.
Yes, and deserves like some sort of treatment or some. It just puts things in a different. It puts things in a different frame than our society puts things in.